The Rap Roundtable.
Future alongside Metro Boomin.
Facts.
Dropping essentially a diss album. We don't trust you. This is the Rap Roundtable. Your boy Jarvis alongside Diddy the Balance. Macito couldn't make it. We don't know if Sin's gonna make it. You know what I mean? But we know that y'all expect us to talk about what's going on because in the midst of this diss album, Kendrick Lamar came back outside. Who would have thought?
Indeed.
Well, while you following, hit that like button, run the comments up, subscribe. We are officially over 14K subs. We're trying to get to 15K subs. And, you know, if y'all do the necessary like, comment, and subscribing, it expedites the process of this page growing how it needs to grow. You know what I mean? Dini, what's going on, man? You straight? You good?
Yeah, man. This is a good start of a day. You know what I'm saying? I'm more mad and sad the bros ain't here right now because I would love to hear their opinions right now in real time, but they definitely gonna come back and cook about it. So yeah, but I'm feeling great. How you feeling?
I can't complain. You know what I mean? If you don't get them now, we'll get them on the live. But
facts.
Before we even get into this album, bro, we gotta skip ahead to track 6.
Yeah,
like Kendrick Lamar outside. Dropping yet another gauntlet. It feels like Control happened all over again.
Talk about
you know what I mean? The sharp bars.
Yeah.
Big 3. He's the big 1. Dini.
Yeah.
Kendrick. Kung Fu Kenny.
Yeah.
Your guy that you've been very questionable on. Came out swinging at Drake mostly with Cole caught some strays.
All right. So first of all, I just want to say when I'm cooking Kendrick Lamar, I'm cooking Kendrick Lamar. This wasn't Kendrick Lamar. Mm-hmm. This was, as you just said, this was Kung Fu Kenny. Mm-hmm. This is, I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the bars right now. Like the DOT, money, power, respect. The last one is better. I thought that was powerful as a statement. Because, you know, there's the money aspect. And now, you know, J. Cole's coming up as to be the guy with the money and the bars. Mm-hmm. We already know Drake's the money guy. Well, it's now he's the respect guy, you know?
Right.
Oh my God. I mean, as I'm going through the bars, the niggas clicking up, but can I be legit? I mean, Sin's here. What up, Sin?
Chilling,
like,
man.
Your man's back outside. He
is, man. I'm gonna need you to show the proper respect.
Yo, I'm showing due, man. It's this, you know when someone tells you that someone had the best verse on an album, and it's usually a sign of like disrespect. This is one of those few moments where this is no sign of disrespect. This is a beautiful thing to happen on this album. I thought there's no better album for this to happen on. Be honest, like this is almost like this is a culmination.
Some of my bars, you taking some of my bars, man. It's gonna. I don't know who's gonna go first, but
the facts are fact. You were supposed to go first, nigga. You was late to the party. I really wanted to hear you go first on this. I really wanted to hear your insights, but you know, I'd even pass it back off to you to get you back in your vibe.
Listen, let's finish out.
Copy. Yeah. Salute to his man 2T's on the shout out. I mean, he actually mentioned first person shooter, bro. Like Kendrick's out for smoke. Like it is what it is, and we haven't had this kind of musical vigor from really any of the big 3 in this way. Like there hasn't been no real name calling or direct hits. You get what I'm saying in the game of Battleship. This is a direct hit, and I'm really. I mean, I don't know what. More in the sense of who has to bounce back from this like harder. Does Drake have to bounce back from this harder, or does Cole has to bounce back? I feel it's Cole, you know what I'm saying? But I digress. I really want to hear Sin. I'll jump back in with my thoughts, but I want to hear Sin's take on this.
Tap in, Sin.
Yeah, man. Let me get myself situated here. I had a whole mess in my crib this morning. I don't know what the hell's going on today. But listen, I'm here. We're here to talk about this. Kendrick Lamar bomb that he just dropped. There was all sorts of like rumors and vagueness and smoke floating around. Is Future gonna diss Drake? Is it gonna be Smoke? Who's gonna be dissing who? Never in my wildest thoughts would I have thought it was gonna be Kendrick to drop this bomb on this Friday morning. And as a Kendrick fan, I could not be more excited, man. Listen, let's first give the proper respect to this platform right here. And not just this platform, not just the whole platform. Jov in particular, just the same way that when people come at us for a take, and we're always like, listen, it's 4 different opinions here, it's 4 different people giving takes. At the same time, when we hit on a take, I want to make sure that the proper person gets the respect. Jov hit this right on the nose when he said this months ago, right? And I'm gonna be honest, when he first said that Kendrick was gonna come out and he was gonna feel some type of way and that they were gonna draw him out, I didn't know if I was 50-50 on it. I didn't know if I believed it all the way. And the reason being, as I've said on the podcast before, I felt that Kendrick was on a different journey. And he said as much. At some point he said, I'm not so concerned with being the number one guy in the game anymore. You know what I mean? That last album with him going through his journey through therapy and going through all of these different emotions and working through things. It seemed like he was more on an Andre 3000 kind of journey than he was on a I'm the best in the game kind of journey. And J. Cole took that as, I'm gonna take the ball and I'm gonna run with it, as we've been seeing in recent times. But I don't know. I don't know if Kendrick is watching the cast. I don't know if he's tapped in. I know Punch is watching. I know Punch has been watching. Maybe he tapped in and was like, yo, bro, they talking about you. You got to respond. Because the way he came out on this particular album, and Deanie was talking about it, he came out on this album. It wasn't on a Baby Keem record. It wasn't on no obscure, left field type of shit. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna be honest, as a verse, I've heard harder verses from Kendrick in terms of like the delivery and the way he attacks the track. You know what I mean? The Family Ties record when he was smoking on Top 5s. I love that verse. Obviously, the Control verse comes to mind. But for him to choose this album with everything that's surrounding it, the Drake and Metro beef. Apparently, him and Future maybe have some issues too. I don't know. But this is a major mainstream in the game moment in the ring. He's literally putting himself in the ring right now. He's not outside of the ring talking into the ring. He's not like backstage, talking to the announcer or the interviewer or whatever at the guy that's in the ring. He's literally putting himself in the ring by making this statement right here with his whole chest on this Future and Metro Boomin album. I love it. I love to see it. My boy Kendrick is back. Let's go, man. Let's go. I'm here for all the smoke. I love it.
Yo, listen, and this is what we talk about. We always get accused of being old heads or old New York niggas who want a certain type of thing. In the end, we don't care where you from. If you're nice and you want to call yourself the best, we always say you got to get in the ring. You know what I mean? So, to see Kendrick on this project, to Sid's point, essentially a Drake diss album. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
A Drake diss album. For them to even have the foresight to beep, yo, Kendrick, come in. And the way that bar sounds, what we heard from Big Sean the day before, I'm wondering, did they get this verse right before the album dropped? Because for Kendrick to say, Big 3 Sean the day before, talking about Bigger 3, the timing of that particular bar tells me that I'm not sure if Future them thought they had a Kendrick verse in the tuck until Kendrick was like, you know what? On second thought, yeah, here's this verse. You know what I mean? Because it's like he don't even belong in that world. Not to say that Kendrick can't do whatever he chooses to do. But is this the first time Future and Kendrick have gotten together since the Black Panther project?
Oh, maybe since they got the mask off.
And then before that, how often do these worlds collide?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is exactly what I'm saying. Like, he literally chose this album and this moment. And like you said, right after Big Sean came with the big three, so-called big three bars. That's you know what I mean. The timing is impeccable. Unless everybody's colluding and they're all using it for each other's rollout.
There you go.
Bro,
I mean, because
that's a possibility, like a big WWF Raw type shit.
I was thinking of it. I was thinking of it in the midst of it because if the album sales are depressed, and we know Cole is rolling out, we know Drake is at some point gonna roll out again, because to me Drake is on a continuous rollout. All these rumors and innuendos of who he's dating now tells me he's staying in a news cycle for when new music drops. Sean is rolling out. Future is out right now. What better way to spark interest than to go one massive Royal Rumble rap beef? But because we always joke and we say, if men beef about anything, it's money and women, and we've been hearing about this Future, not even Future, Metro Boomin and Drake issue going back to when I believe For All the Dogs dropped. That's when it really hit the fan. But before that, they was beefing all of last year with like little sub tweets and little IG subs and things of that nature. So I want to believe that this is real static, and they had a chess move. This is chess right here. What's the button? Niggas clicking up, but cannot be legit. No 40 water. Tell them, and whatever. Fuck sneak this. First person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. I crashed out. Fuck rap. This Melly Mel if I had to. You know what I mean? Like Melly Mel minding his business doing pull-ups. Like yo, you know what I mean?
He's talking crazy.
But it's like. Like Sin said, we're not here to blow the heat and say this is the best verse of all time. It's just the principle of the fact that he swung the haymaker at the both of them after they said they was the biggest. And like,
fuck your big three, nigga, it's just big me.
Listen, and I said, Kendrick, if nothing else, he don't like when niggas push him out the way. He gonna feel some type of way. And now y'all pals, it's constant footage of them in the studio together, macking. There's a tour coming. We might get an EP. Catch you, look at these bitch ass niggas. That's how I'm taking it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Dini, what's up?
I mean, you move your feet, you lose your seat. You know how the game work. You know what I'm saying? You've been taking breaks, and niggas really have been cooking all this time. So that's really a part of that is his fault. You get what I'm saying? Like if we stop potting right now for 5 years and come back, it might be like 100 pods that's out doing their thing.
We stopped potting for 5 weeks and come back, we lost our spot. You know what I mean?
You feel what I'm saying? Like the shit keeps going, and the game went a little past him, and I think now he's seeing that like, yo, niggas really forgot about me. Like this nigga Dini's cooking me. Like I'm sure he's feeling the pressure and shit like that. Now. He's back. This is Kung Fu Kenny. Like I said, this isn't Kendrick Lamar, and this is what we needed. This is what hip hop needed. As to what y'all was saying, it would make a lot of sense. I mean, the thing is that's irking me though is how does the Drake and Future like dynamic tie into it? Because let's say you and somebody have an issue, it's gonna be hard to get Sin to okay certain shit on. You know what I'm saying?
It's clear that Future has an issue too, because on the intro,
he has to.
On the intro of the album, he made some references to pillow talking and things of that nature. So and the name of the album is "We Don't Trust You." They're talking to Drake. Just saying, you was about to jump back in.
Oh no, I mean I was gonna jump back in with a different point in terms of like what you had said earlier about like maybe this was a last minute decision. I don't know if what I'm seeing in front of me holds any weight. I don't know how last minute it could have been, because this record, unless they cooked up the whole record, absolutely last minute, because we were talking about the samples that were used in this record, and upon further research we found out that this is actually like the whole track is a sample of Rodney O and Joe Cooley from Compton from a song in 1988 called Everlasting Bass. You know what I mean? And so, we were trying to figure out like, oh shit, like Metro Boomin like took this sample from like No Idea's original Barry White sample and like, the Gangbusters Wild Style sample and put them all together. No, this is an homage to a Compton underground group from 1988. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, he threw in the Easy Does It sample with that little vocal sample that Game had used very recently as well. So if all of this put together tells me anything, this is a record that was cooked up specifically for Kendrick to come on and do his Compton thing and talk his Compton shit and really flex on motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
That's a phone call.
It's a big move, man.
Yeah,
that's a big move. But you know what? Before we get into the album a little bit, you know, if I'm Drake, I'm like, look at these niggas over here clicking up to talk about me. Like, all I'm saying is, for all the hype right now, they've put themselves directly in Drake's crosshairs. And when Drake doesn't have to go first in these type of situations, he usually delivers. You know what I mean? So it's like, be careful what you want, what you asking for. Because Cole gonna have to say something. Drake is gonna say something. And if I'm sitting back as a dude and I'm like, I got two dudes making an album about me, then I got my top op linking up with these two dudes that's talking about me on this whole album, y'all clicking up too. So let's not get too excited.
It's a dangerous click up though, bro. Yes. It's a dangerous click up because that's the best Sonics in the game in Drake, and maybe the hardest bars in the game in Cole.
And here's the thing, like we speculated a couple months ago, or not even less than a month ago actually, about who would be the person that stand next to Kendrick when he did come outside. We was thinking it might be Big Sean. Lo and behold, it was Future. Like, nobody had that on their bingo card.
Nobody.
Absolutely not. I mean, 2024 is turning out to be wild.
Wild.
Hell of a year. But to this album, real quick, you know, Mason's not here, so we're not gonna dive too deep into the reaction aspect. I'd like to hear what the trap heads had to say about it. Even though this is not so much a trap album, it's something. It's not a trap album, you know. But nevertheless, Dini, what are your thoughts on this project?
First off, I just want to say salute to them for all the New York homage with Prodigy. I think it was like 5 vocal inserts they had with P. You know what I'm saying? On top of sampling the Quiet Storm joint. What else we had here? I got my little notes right here. The Sonics. Like I talk about this all the time, bro. Like, compelling music that makes you want to listen to. It's not just about being the nicest lyrically. It's not just making the dopest music. It's a nice marriage between the two that creates just like this beautiful tapestry, and they did it. Like, salute to Sin talking. First of all, listening to you talk about like Metro Boomin's production like that just had me like, it was heartfelt, Sin. You know what I'm saying? I was quite impressed. Like, Boomin's the guy now. He's definitely the guy now. Like, we had him neck and neck. It's really him, Hit Boy, as far as can make a record that's powerful for the people and still get you moving. They're really the two guys that you go to, where you can bar the record up and you can still vibe it out. Everybody else is nice, but it's one or the other for most other people. You get what I'm saying? They're the two dudes that's working that magic. But I mean, the intro, We Don't Trust You, fire. Young Metro, fire. You know, Ice Attack it's probably one of the 3 songs I could have said, you know what, they didn't need it. It didn't need to be a part of the album. Type Shit, fire. Claustrophobic, piano keys. You get piano keys on your instrument, on your beats, my ears will perk up. I will at least pay attention to it. And they did that. We don't even have to talk about track 6. We just did. Kung Fu Kenny's back outside. That's Deanie saying that. So you know that means something. Slimed In. Vibes, bro. You need vibes. Definitely good vibes. If you're going to get anything from a Future album, it's going to be vibes. Magic Dawn wants fire, bro. The way that joint changes, it's really like 2 beats. It's really 3 beats in one. But it's really, the second beat leads to the third where they just make a little change. But the way this shit alters, bro, like, the music you gotta feel something with the music, my nigga. Fried, She's a Vibe. I thought that was more for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Cinderella with Travis Scott. You know that's my bag. That's my vibe. You know what I'm saying? I like to zone out as I vibe. Ain't No Love was cool. I thought it didn't need to be on the album. It's one of those 3 that I felt was just not necessary. GTA, fire. Everyday Hustle with Ross. I just gave Ross his props. I'm giving him his props again. Ross, keep vibing, my nigga. Like, dope verse. I don't know how y'all felt about it. We're gonna talk about it. Seen It All, loved it. The track 16, the What the Fuck You Mean, I think it's one of those records that you know it's not your type of bag, it's not your favorite record, but you know it's gonna be a huge record for the people who listen to it. It's just not my type of bag. And Where My Twin At, I thought that was another one that didn't need to be. That's the third. I feel like they could have cut that. It could have been like maybe like a 50-minute album, 14 tracks, but it's still a fire ass album to me.
Okay. Talk to me, Sam. I know this is not your realm, but at the same time, it's not. You know what I mean? It's not that far away from the shit that you might give a chance to.
Listen, first and foremost, utmost respect and homage to Metro Boomin.
Salute.
He's really one of them ones in this era. Really, really one of them ones. You know what I mean? Again, his sonical choices. You know what I mean? His use of certain drum sounds and certain tempos, not my bag personally, but listening to this album and listening to what he's done recently, I definitely can appreciate the exemplary production skills that he has. You know what I mean? And he always brings some fresh and new to the table, even if it's using sounds that at certain times I might feel are played out. He always manages to cook up something fresh with those sounds. So salute to him because he really is one of them ones. On this album, bro, the production, this might be the best produced album I've heard this year thus far. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like that's not even overstating it, honestly. I don't think. Like, the production on this is crazy. The mixing on it, all the sonic, everything
amazing.
about it.
Amazing.
Impeccable. Like, they really slow cooked this album production wise. You know what I mean? Some of my favorite joints, We Don't Trust You, the intro, you know what I mean? Young Metro, that beat and Future's flow is crazy on that. Cinderella. Oh shit. Like, that's a perfect, like, in the middle of the album track. Like, that shit was just like a perfect song, damn near. You know what I mean? GTA I was fucking with. Everyday Hustle. Now look, I have my qualms with, you know, certain types of producers using a sample, and I always have a gripe when they pick a sample and you're like, oh my god, there's so much to work with within this sample if they just kind of chop it and flip it and try to rework it in a certain way. And a lot of times, you know, certain types of producers in a certain lane will just like loop it up and throw some trap drums over it and call it a day. You know what I mean? And when that song first started, I was like, oh, come on, Metro. You was on such a great run on this album, and you have this beautiful soul sample, and you just loop it and throwing the trap drums on it. Do something else. And as soon as I said that, he chopped it up and flipped it, and Ross came on, and I was like, oh, yes! This is what I fucking needed.
Sim was like, yo, Chipmunk Funk.
Metro.
The Chipmunk Funk. I liked it when it first cut on. I was like, I knew this is gonna be something dope when the Chipmunk Funk came on. You don't hear Chipmunk Funk no more.
That head nod, that you know what I mean, that swing.
Yeah.
No, I was all about it. I was all about it. This a dope album. I mean, there's nothing except for Type Shit. I didn't particularly like Type Shit, and also it kind of, like Didi was saying, it kind of like dragged at the end and kind of like took a little downturn. Those last 3 tracks, I feel like they all could have been cut. But it's a dope album. Like, sonically, I mean, I'm not a Future fan, like, because come on, the Future's 40 and he's still talking about blowing a check at the strip club on a Wednesday. You know what I mean? And taking uppers and downers and shit. Like, I'm fans of artists that, like, I can take an evolutionary journey with them, like, as they grow older, as they grow wiser, as they, you know, mature, as they evolve. You know what I mean? Future's not one of those artists. You know what I mean? This is his bag. He's gonna stay in his bag. It's not my bag. Let's just leave it at that. But as an album, as a body of work, I can't complain about this shit, man. This shit is fire. It's, you know, again, all respect due to Metro Boomin, man. He put his foot in this shit.
I mean, I gotta say I agree. You know, when you hear Future and Metro Boomin coming together, you might have expected like something sonically different. But I think Metro kind of let us know where he's at as an artist in and of himself. with the Heroes and Villains project. Then the spot, I think it was the End of the Spider-Verse soundtrack that he did. The sonics that he's been leaning into has like it's trap elements, like it's the floor is probably trap, but then the sounds he's using, he's like kind of like when Kanye moved away from the sped up samples into his stadium music era. You know what I mean? I think he's on that same type of trajectory right now, where he's into stadium music, placement music, things that can be played in multiple venues, not just rap venues. You know what I mean? And I like where they're going with this. Like this album is what I thought it would sound like, just based on what Heroes and Villains sound like, how he kind of used Future was kind of his muse on that project. Like Future was sprinkled throughout that whole project. So with this one right here, it's like, oh yeah. And then again, big Prodigy fan right here. He's on my all-time list.
Salute.
You know what I mean? Like one of my personal favorites.
Prodigy all over the album.
And then it's like the Prodigy interview that he's chopping up through the album, because I'm giving that credit to Metro. I'm not sure how much Future had to do with that, so I'm gonna lean to the producer. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If Future says that was my idea, salute to Future.
I was thinking the same. But
like the way it's chopped up and who Prodigy was talking to at different points, it's like it ain't funny how the world just works in cycles. Like this version of the Matrix right now, because a lot of what he was talking about, you could have attested to the Jigga Man and where they was at as men at that point in this rap shit.
Yeah,
a lot of people will say that Aubrey has tried to embody a lot of things that Hov was in the past. So Future, you trying to say Future? You trying to say UP? If you saying that you're this era's Prodigy, that's a bit of a reach on an artistic level, but maybe his position in the game. Because it's funny, we talked about Future last week, and motherfuckers didn't know Future's impact is that real. They just thought he was a rogue in the gallery, not understanding like you could make a Big Four argument with
that nigga.
He got the stats. The same thing with Prodigy in the late 90s. As rappers getting glossier and more commercial, people might have argued with you if you said Prodigy was one of the ones when he has the stats, he had the acclaim, he had the rightful position to talk to any rapper the way he felt like talking to them. So maybe there's a parallel there. Maybe I'm reaching. I don't know. But I like the idea that you're telling us that this project, while we're going to give you the silence, we're going to give you the vibes, this project is a concept album directed at this light-skinned nigga from Canada who's doing some shiesty shit. And at no point in this album do we want you to forget that this is an album about a shiesty light-skinned nigga from Canada. I love it. You know what I mean? Because there's times when you get taken on journeys on this project, then here come Prodigy to remind you, hold on.
Yeah,
we're talking about this guy. There's probably a bar about Drake on every song. You know what I mean? But I'll let the big time Drake and Future fans, the people who really like who lean into the gossip, the chatty boy energy, to break that down for us. But the very first song, We Don't Trust You, the second verse, Future made it very clear where we was going when he says, "You a nigga number one fan, dog. Sneak dissing, I don't understand, dog. Pillow talking, acting like a fed dog. I don't need another fake friend, dog." You know what I mean? It's like, he's talking to Aubrey. There was another line here that I'm looking for where he made it really clear. He said, "You and your feelings while you playing, dog." And it's like he used the word dog like 6 times in those first few bars. Drake just dropped for all the dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's pretty much on the nose. Y'all sharing these same women because, again, back in our day, famous guys dabbled in everything. You know what I mean? Whether they was famous, whether they were some obscure lady in a random town on a tour. It seems like all these dudes now in this world share the same type of women. These women are willing to travel from city to city to be with these artists. And it's a new type of situation. I'm trying to be as careful as I can because I don't want to get the pod canceled. But the way rappers and famous people treated people that they came across back in the day seems to be a little bit different. Because even in the NBA, we see it. It seems like it's just the same women dealing with various different people. Now, it's not about being promiscuous. I'm just saying it's the same people with the same people with the same people with the same people. You don't get the random new one. Remember when like Karuchi popped up out of nowhere? And then you had Lori Harvey just popped up out of nowhere. It's like, oh, who's this new person that's now famous for dating this person? You know what I mean? It just seems like it's the same people. And then pillow talking. And it's like Drake has had the allegations about being a phony. So it's like, it's all coming together. But for me, I like type shit. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Forgive me. Like the joints on the project that stood out to me was, of course, like that. Like to me, like that ruined the listening experience at first because it was like I was on track 2 when Mace dude liked that in the chat, so I had to go skip over to track 6 and basically listen to that a few times and then refocus on listening to the album as a body of work. What this album did for me that I love a lot is the fact that while it's tight, it's cohesive, it wasn't monotonous. And it's like in this era where people hear tight, cohesive, and it's the same kind of sample, same kind of beats, then they'll run on social media and call it a classic because it feels the same. That's not how cohesiveness always works. There's a fine line between cohesive and monotonous. You know what I mean? And I think that this album right here, there was no monotony. It was a dark sounding album, but the vibes take you all over the place. I guess I could hear what Sin is saying when he says he doesn't want to hear the uppers and downer talk from a 40-year-old. What I'll counter that with is that's just what people come to the future for. You know what I mean? Like to me, like I'm guilty of it. Remember when he dropped Future and Hendrix? And I was mad because he was on his Lover Man vibes on one of them albums. I was sick. I'm like, this is not what I came here for. You know what I mean? I didn't want that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want that. As for me, again, I don't like where my twin is at, but I love the GTA Seen It All, What the Fuck You Mean combination at the end. Like, I was enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I like where the features, they were spaced out. Because when you have so much going on with the Prodigy interludes, and we had that random New York girl that just popped in on one of the records and everything, you didn't need too many features. Who was that? It was a sub. Was that Playboy Cardi?
Yeah, I think on Type Shit.
Like he don't sound like the Cardi I've got first introduced to. I don't know if he's going through something like sonically.
Sounds like Future to me now. He sounds like kind of like Future-esque.
Yeah, I mean, he's the father of a lot of people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Magic Dawn 1 is immaculate. Cinderella's immaculate. Fried, she's a vibe, immaculate. Like, listen, this album is. I'm not saying this album is super fire. It's some really good music here, but much like Heroes and Villains was a slow cook before people realized how good it was, I think this is going to be another one of those. It's good right now. I don't know if it's great. I don't know if the Kendrick moment is going to overshadow it, but I need to listen to it more before I really say I'm falling in love with this project. And I don't know how much time I have to listen to it and really fall in love if you telling me they got another project coming in a couple weeks. So I don't know. Anybody else?
Nah, I was about to say that like they ran the risk of, like you said, the Kendrick verse and moment overshadowing the album, but they do have another album like in a couple weeks, so I guess they're not too worried about that.
And plus, I don't think it's gonna overshadow the album. I think it's gonna bring more people to the album. It's gonna bring people like Sin who's not necessarily Future fans to the album, and it's gonna make people listen to the rest of the album. It's gonna get people who are Kendrick fans to listen to the Future album. I think that in and of itself is fire. But I think when people hear the music, they're gonna be like, you know, this is a fire project, and they're gonna stick around, you know.
But you know what? I'm happy that Kendrick came outside because it's like
facts.
We gotta get back to that point before we get out of here. Only because it's just like this is what we expect our rappers to do. Right. In this era where people are so offended by niggas like us saying, yo, get in the ring and battle. Right. Y'all showed up to this rap shit late, nigga. Y'all, in some cases, y'all kids. You know, I seen a person on Twitter when we was taking our victory lap about calling this situation, calling Kendrick insecure and this sounds like insecurity. And I'm like get your bitch ass out of here. This is rap, nigga. It's at its core, it's competition. We're not talking about beef and emo TED Talk shit. It's these two niggas said they better than you. What you gonna do? In front of your son, you know what I mean? Like they on your porch. They said they better than you. Come outside, bro.
Yo, and possibly my favorite line besides the Big 3, Big Me line, which of course is, you know what I mean, epic. When he said if he walk around with that stick, it ain't Andre 3K.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because,
and again, I don't know how many other podcasts and platforms are out there, you know, comparing, you know, Kendrick to Andre 3000, but I know we've talked about it heavy here. You know what I mean? And we were, me personally, I was afraid that he was good, not necessarily afraid, but I was thinking he might take too much of a Andre 3000 route to even get back in the ring. You know what I mean? And for him to throw that line into the bar and say, hey, listen, this ain't Andre 3000, motherfucker. I'm here for that top spot. You know what I mean? That's Andre over there. This is Big Me over here. You know what I mean? We're different.
Low key funny. That would be funny if that inspired 3 Stacks to rap. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
I mean,
if everyone's just inspiring everyone, you know, like
it said, don't leave just yet. What about that Prince and MJ bar? Bro?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just telling y'all in the group chat last night. Like I've been thinking about that since Drake has been comparing himself to Michael Jackson. I've been thinking about that comparison. How you know Kendrick is more like the Prince of this era to Drake's Michael Jackson. I've been thinking about that for months. I never said it on the pod. But I don't know, man. This is this is why me and Kendrick we're on that same wavelength, man.
Kindred spirits.
You know what I mean? Like that's a heavy line. That's a heavy line right there. It's a little wild too. It's a little wild.
Yeah.
It's a little wild. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Because that just shows Kendrick is on his I don't give a fuck type of shit right now. I'm gonna say what I want with my chest, and that's
keep the energy. That's what I want to see.
And that's the thing. It's like y'all did first person shooter. Y'all said y'all the biggest. Then y'all spun the block on Evil Ways, and Kendrick is just there. Like I know these niggas ain't doing what I think they doing. I know. And this verse just verified it. He was over there salty. Like I know these niggas not doing it. And I know. And wait, they the best? You see, y'all forgot. Yeah. That's all we wanted. Now, the ball is now in Canada. It's on the court in Canada. What we gonna do?
North Carolina.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Cole rolling out.
Cole rolling out. Full rollout mode.
Oh.
They're still on tour, so it's like the ball's going a lot of different places, and that's what's gonna keep them like, sit down and wait, nigga.
Listen,
I'm saying
and
so.
Then y'all brought it to my attention the whole thing about him being Kendrick essentially raining on another Big Sean rollout. Will Sean defend himself?
Somebody check on Sean, man.
Yeah.
His little rollout, you know what I mean? Trying to throw his ring into the ring.
Damn it, sit.
Nah, he got to fight.
Hey, don't forget about me, guys. Don't forget about me.
As the Big Sean fan, I'm here to tell you, you can't tap dance around it, big dog. Right now, niggas is aggressive. Right now, if you in it, you in it. You got to fight too. Everybody got to fight. That's it. We need a clear, definitive number one. Niggas said Cole number one. Cole gonna have to stand on it now. Kendrick is outside.
And look, Sean rapped like he was rapping on Palisades, man. He's got a good start, man. That's all I know.
Okay, fair play. Fair play. Well, listen, we know y'all don't really love the Future Talk, so we're not gonna keep y'all too long. Lunch hour vibes. We know y'all love that Kendrick and Drake energy. Kenny Mack is somewhere applauding and happy. But we're gonna talk more about this album on Monday when we do the live. We'll have Mason here so he can give his takes. And I'm curious because Mason's been he talked about the beef, but he hasn't said a word about this album in the group chat. So I'm very curious to see where he's at with it. And what do y'all think? The people who like this type of music, what do y'all think? He needs a balance. Take us home.
Let us know in the chat what y'all think, man. Also, Roundtable merch. Get you some merch. Salute to the chat. Shout out to Macito. Can't wait to hear your opinions on Monday, good brother. Salute to Jarvie. Salute to Sincere the Rap Snob. I'm Dean, the Balance of the Force. This is the fucking lunch hour. You dig? Holla at us. Boom! It's the Rap Roundtable.